Welcome back to another episode of the Bold Predictions Podcast. We are your three hosts. My name is AJ.
Bro, this is the fieriest entrance. Richie. I'm Richie.
My name is Dan.
Yeah! Get that pumped energy going, Richie.
It must be nice being a Packers fan, you know, having your team be really good all the time. Unfortunately, I get disappointment and misery, so...
And we are bringing another fantastic episode on a Friday afternoon. Yeah! Are you guys ready?
Very ready.
Woo!
All right, let's jump straight into it. So, I think we want to start off with our team talks. And specifically, we are just going to talk about the playoff teams because that's all that really matters at this point. But, yeah. Who would we like to start with? Would you like to start AFC, NFC, which teams?
AFC.
AFC, okay.
Then I say
The worst side.
Yeah. I like that. Let's talk about the let's talk about the Chiefs first because I think they're in a big pickle right now unless Patrick Mahomes comes back.
So is it clear if he's going to play or not right now? I know he's questionable, but have you guys heard any new news on that?
I heard that he's been improving every day.
Yeah,
he just practiced with a helmet on today.
Yeah, he's back with practice, but he's not cleared yet.
Okay, he has to be. There's no way they hold him out of this. Like, I don't see it. Like, when you watch that replay, I know we didn't have a chance to talk about this, but when you watch that replay, I really have zero clue what happened. Because the guy's arm's around his neck, kind of. He doesn't hit his head on the ground. He hits his head, like, on the guy's arm, sort of. I don't know if he got choked out for, like, 2 seconds, like a pressure point or something. But you could see when he got up, he, like, instantly wobbled and kind of fell. And I was like, oh, shit, he's not going back in. But they have the GOAT, Chad Henne, behind him, so... I don't know. They're pretty much equal.
Yeah, okay.
Henny's got wheels, so I wouldn't doubt him. I wouldn't sleep on Henny just yet.
Well, you know, it's also the fact that the Browns decided not to cover him when he ran a 3rd and 15, so...
I think they saw his 40 time, which was almost 5 seconds. So, like, I don't think we got to worry about this run. And then he pulled it out of his ass.
So... in your guys' opinion, what do you think is the key for the Chiefs winning this game? Besides, obviously, Patrick Mahomes playing.
Yeah, let's imagine he's playing for this question.
Yeah.
Richie, you want to go first?
I guess, yeah. So I guess the key to winning is, I guess, trying to just kind of play the football that they've been playing all year. It's, I guess, how about not making too many mistakes? Let's say that. Because Patrick Mahomes likes to drop really far back in the pocket, and if the Bills can counter this by kind of playing their defensive ends in a way that kind of get around the tackle, that could set them up for failure. So I would say if they can limit their mistakes, and like I said, just keep playing the way they've been playing all year, then I would say definitely they have a chance. Also, if Mahomes doesn't play as much hero ball as he did last week, to like explain that a little bit, it's like he kind of seemed like he was putting his body on the line in situations that he didn't need to. Like, if you look at their drives, I think it was touchdown, field goal, and I think he went out or something like that. So clearly they had no problem getting down the field. So I think if he kind of takes it back a little bit, he's kind of played like Cam Newton. If he kind of plays like Aaron Rodgers, you know, smarter, not stupid. I think he has a chance to get to the bowl, Super Bowl.
I think if you look at this game on paper, the matchup, it seems like Bills have 0 rushing attack. Chiefs have 0 rushing attack. It's going to be passing versus passing the whole time. That doesn't exactly play into the Bills' favor when I would say Chiefs have the better pass defense. Even though they got Tre'Davious White on the Bills, he hasn't been up to his normal standard this year. So I think which of the quarterbacks can limit turnovers, whoever has less interceptions, I think that's the team that's going to pull through here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with Richie in the point that the Chiefs just need to play the same way they've been playing all year with a just dominant offense and their passing game. Their run game, bit questionable. Their defense, that's the only part that's going to scare me. If we are adding in keys, I mean, not keys. What is the word I'm looking for? Their keys to losing, I guess. Their defense needs to be on point. I mean, I'm confident in their secondary. Their line. How do I want to word this? Their line is the questionable on the defensive side because their offense is dominant. I don't know. It's kind of just if the I don't know why I'm trying to cut into talking about their bad qualities now. That's all I'm looking at right now. But let me pause for a second, take a breath. Okay, so the way the Chiefs win, they need to play dominant on the offense, and they need to stop the Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen combination on defense. That's their main key. Because once they stop that, I really don't see the Bills doing anything on them because their run game is okay, but unless Devin Singletary is the dominant running back, then the Bills are done.
Was Zach Moss still out?
I don't know. And you got anything on that, Rich?
I thought he was put on IR. Maybe
I think he was. I think.
Oh yeah. Then
Yeah,
so especially now, if their pass game does not work against the Chiefs, then I don't know. I don't see the Bills winning this at all. And it's going to be great.
There's no way they have a chance at running unless it's Josh Allen doing his goal line thing. He might I think there's a decent chance Josh Allen is the most rushing yards in this game, which is kind of sad.
That's a bold prediction right there. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's switch it over to the Buffalo Bills now. Because I'm gonna kind of add in keys to losing for both sides as talking to both teams.
So for the Bills, I would say their one thing is their offense needs to show up. Every game this playoff run, it seems like Bills' offense hasn't been totally there. I know they put up 27 against the Colts, but last week against the Ravens, they only put up 17. Actually, only 10 by their offense. So I think they need to play like they've been playing during the year as well. If both teams can play like this is the regular season, this game's going to be fireworks. But it seems like both teams are kind of shaky so far, is how I'll put it. And I just think the Bills' offense needs to keep pace with the Chiefs' offense for them to have a chance to win. Because I don't have faith in this Bills' defense. I think it's a little overhyped. Not to say that the Bills don't have a chance to win. I just think that I think Bills' offense needs to be the key to victory here.
I would agree. I think the Bills' offense needs to step it up. I think the key to them winning is we all know that Stephon Diggs is going to get near 100 yards, right? But I think we need either John Brown or Cole Beasley to keep pace with Diggs here. When each of them go over 100 yards, it seems like they're always just scoring over 30 points. But when it's only Diggs doing everything, that's like against Baltimore, that's when they start really struggling. So if this offense can be really well-rounded, maybe some Josh Allen runs on the goal line and stuff, I think they have a good shot.
Well, if we're talking on that case, I would say the biggest thing with the Bills is what they did against the Ravens, which is completely take away their run, which took away their whole team basically. I think they need to focus more on the passing game of the Chiefs, because if they relax a bit on the run, they focus more on the passing, then they can try to slow down. Not saying they're going to, but they can at least attempt more to slow down the Chiefs' offense, because like we said before, neither team really has a run game in this. And I think if you manage to slow down Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, then that's going to be your key. But like you guys said, the Bills' offense needs to be basically staying with the Chiefs' offense this whole game.
I really think this will be a shootout. Another key that I think they need to win this game is that I think Tre'Davious White needs to have like the game of his life and just 1v1 Tyreek the whole game and just try to win. I know that's like not easy at all, but if he can win that matchup and force it all on Kelce, I think that'd be a good shot.
Well, as long as you don't see Tre'Davious White get beat and then Patrick Mahomes sees Tyreek Hill deep open, then yeah, I think he did well. Do we got any other points to talk about with this game?
No.
I'm trying to think, because I feel like I've seen like a bunch of ESPN analysis people just talking about this game. Or maybe it was the NFC side. I don't remember, but I feel like they're just crapping on one team. Then again, that's how usual ESPN people are. So, all right, well, we will move on to the better game of the two, which is sadly played in the afternoon, and I really wish it was a night game because that would be a lot cooler. But the NFC Championship between the Packers and Bucks. Who would we like to start out with?
We took the 1 seed last time. We'll take the 1 seed again. We have the Green Bay Packers at home, Lambeau Field. Aaron Rodgers, MVP Rodgers. Honestly, the key to this game is just this is like so stupid to say because it's kind of repetitive, but just do what you've been doing all year. Just have your defense play the way it did last week against the Rams. If you can hold any team to 20 or under, I think Packers got this. Especially if it's the Buccaneers, they got this. The offense is on fire. Rodgers to Devontae is one of the best connections we've seen probably since like Brady to Moss. Yeah, I just say have Jahir shadow or hopefully take out Evans. Since AB's out, you can try to help with the slot a little bit with Godwin. And then there's really no one else I would say is like that scares me for that offense. Maybe Gronk for a play or two, but I mean he's past his prime at this point. So for the Packers, I would just say keep the offense going. Ground game to play action to deep balls to Lazard or to MVS, and then have the defense play its game.
Yeah, I agree. Stick to the basics of what we've been doing all year. I do think the biggest part of this game, which is kind of weird to say because both these quarterbacks can mount a pretty good comeback. I think whoever is leading, I think the first quarter determines a lot. Both the teams can start out hot or they can start out really slow, especially Tampa. Tampa is just good, like they are so hit or miss in the first quarter. So I think if the Packers can get a lead in the beginning by like at least 10, I think the game is in pretty good hands. I know it's Tom Brady; he leads a lot of comebacks, but I don't think he can catch up to this offense once we start off hot. Our offense is like this Packers team is just different than last year. It's the best offense in the league with the Chiefs.
It's scary. It's sad to say that you said 10 points, and then that's the only amount of points we scored in week 6.
And you guys were up 10-0.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're up 10-0. Rodgers throws a pick 6. Rodgers throws a pick that goes all the way to our 2. Like that's not happening in this game. We're gonna start out stronger, and we're just gonna beat them. Like we're just a better team.
So yeah, and I agree. So basically, my 2 key points in this game is going to be the turnover game, as basically everyone has talked about. If Aaron Rodgers throws a pick 6 again, then that's going to be huge, and that'll give Tampa Bay the huge momentum like they did week 6. And then my biggest thing that I've talked about all week was whoever wins this game is going to dominate the line on both sides of the ball. So with that being said, the Packers offense against Tampa Bay's defense. If Packers offense dominates that line to the point where Aaron Rodgers does not get touched, he's going to have a lot of time. He's going to find an open guy, and he's going to dot them up like he's been doing all season. If Tampa Bay's D gets pressure on Rodgers like they did week 6, then we're going to see the same thing happen where he gets pressured in the face. He hopefully doesn't force balls, but he might again if he feels too much pressure, and he's going to turn the ball over. Flipping it to the other side, with Tampa Bay's offense and Green Bay's defense, if Green Bay wins the ball or wins the line of scrimmage, Tom Brady, he's 43, I think. He's not going to move around. He's not going to move around. There's no way. So he doesn't have those legs. Especially, so many people are saying that the weather is not going to be a factor. Well, it's still going to be cold. And Tom Brady, even though he has played in the cold, he's been living life in Florida this past year. So it changes. It's going to change. It's going to change being in the cold. And his old fertile bones are not going to be the same that they were. So he's going to get sacked quite a bit if Green Bay wins the line. But with that being said, if Tampa Bay's O-line dominates the ball or line, then it's going to be the same thing as Aaron Rodgers, where Tom Brady is going to find an open man, especially with all the talent on their roster.
I mean, I have nothing else to say about the Packers. I have more now for the Buccaneers if you guys want to transition over to that. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you mentioned the line. It's actually a big comeback here as Vita Vea, the star defensive tackle for the Buccaneers, is actually back this week, and he will be playing for the Packers. So that's going to be nice for the Bucs' run game, or I guess their run defense. So if AJ's talk is true, I think Bucs actually probably definitely have the advantage now over the Packers as far as defensive line to offensive line goes. But I think that the way the Buccaneers win this game is that they find whatever like whatever they did in week 4, week 5, whatever it was, do that again. I don't know what they did to hold the Packers at 10 points, but it worked. And I would argue that the team is basically the same from that point. They don't have AB. They didn't have AB then. They have Vita Vea back. I mean, it looks like Bucs have a chance to beat the Packers again, but I mean, both teams are very different at this point. So, I would say limiting Rodgers and hitting the deep ball would be the Bucs' points of winning here.
I just gotta say, Packers' offensive line is even without David Bakhtiari still the second best in the league. I don't think Bucs defense or defensive line is better than our offensive line, and I think that looking back at that game means pretty much nothing. If you look at the Saints games against the Bucs, like didn't translate at all. So I think this could be just a completely different game than what we saw last time.
My take with the Buccaneers side, and it's this is what's been scaring me last week. I remember when we were watching. Well, when I was watching the Rams Packers game last week, I was going off in our Discord like, crazy play just happened, and then like 2 plays later, I was like, oh my god, it's over. They're coming back, but because that's a scary thing. Our defense has been improving. The Packers defense has been improving all season long, but with that take, the Buccaneers, the way to win this is to take away what the Rams did to us, meaning they need to move the ball quick and fast, and like not stop, because that's what the Rams did. Every time they hurried up to the line, they moved on. They moved the ball really well on our defense, and that's what really scared me. And the only way we stopped them is if they got an incomplete, and to which that we were able to slow them down again, and our defense was able to capitalize again.
Watching the Rams game, it felt like we could just go down the field whenever we pleased. And to me, when I watched their offense work, our defense, especially Jair, was just all over them. It didn't look too easy for me. And also last week, I know Aaron Donald was hurt, but we gave up 0 sacks. So I think our offense is going to be like pretty perfect coming into this game.
My one thing to worry about again on both sides of the ball. Well, this is for both teams actually. Who are we going to cover, and who are they going to cover? Because they have these huge names: Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, and Antonio Brown on their offensive side of the ball, along with their running backs in Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette. Our defense, Jair Alexander is a monster, so he'll definitely be able to take away Mike Evans for sure, or whoever he's covering. Kevin King worries me because, again, talking about the Rams game, Jared Goff picked on him a lot, and every time they did, they got a completion. So I don't know if I'm confident in Kevin King playing well, but hopefully our safeties are playing strong. And then on the opposite side of the ball, obviously they're going to have to cover Davante Adams, especially after what he did to Jalen Ramsey. But you cover him. We have a bunch of these no-name guys that no one besides Packer fans, and obviously Richie and Jacob when we talk about them around you guys. These guys are not big in the NFL really. So you don't know who to cover because you don't know which one is going to go off.
I'm sorry, were you talking about the Packers offense?
Yeah, I'm talking about because obviously Davante Adams is going to be. They have to cover him, especially after what he did to Jalen Ramsey. So you have guys like Alan Lazard and MVS who aren't big around the league. They're only big because they're on the Packers, and we talk about them a lot as Packer fans. So you kind of don't know what to do with them.
I think we have plenty of options. I think Tunyon and Lazard are going to kind of be the secondary options, while Marquez is probably going to get one or two like 50-yard just shots, and hopefully he doesn't drop it. While Devontae just kind of does everything. I think it's going to be tougher for their offense to get to those pieces, get to Mike Evans, get to Chris Godwin, just because I think our defensive line, especially Darius last week, I don't know if you guys saw him, he was a fucking monster. I think that's how we're going to cover them. I think our D-line to O-line matchup is way better than what they have compared to us. So I think if our D-line can just continue getting pressure, I think Chris Godwin and Gronk are going to be really the short options that Brady's going to focus on. If we could just take them away, we should be fine.
I do have a couple more points if you don't mind. I don't know if Richie was going to say something before or no. Okay. So another thing I've noticed with the Tampa Bay run game is they have obviously Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette are good running backs, but they're not the best pass catchers. Do you think they're going to be an aspect in this game? Because they're gonna have to do something if they can't get their wide receivers open. Granted, they do have good wide receivers.
Yeah, from what I saw last game, Fournette looked good. Like, not even just for that game. Like, he was legit the MVP of that game. Him and Devin White. I know Devin White's a beast. But just watching Fournette, he caught like 5 balls, got 40 yards. But just the way he ran every time he touched it was so powerful. I don't know how many touches Jones should get here, because I think they're going to stick with Fournette. But that's what I'm saying. If we get to the lead, it'll be okay. But if they can start getting that ground game going, if they're ahead of us, that's where the issues start to come up.
All right. And one more thing. Richie, do you happen to know how long Vita Vea was out for?
Oh, God. Practically the whole season.
Perfect.
Okay. So that's a big plus for us because, yeah, he could be a star on the defense, but him being out or him coming out, oh, my God, I cannot talk. Him coming back after being out for so long. And I think they even had a short week of practice since they played Sunday night. It's going to be rough for him, I would think, right?
I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I think he's gonna definitely solidify the defensive line. I honestly, no doubt in my mind that he actually makes an impact. Whether it's in a limited role or whatever, but this is a big dude. This is a giant man. So,
what's that injury?
I don't know. I just know that he was back.
All right. Do you guys have any other points before we move on? I'm trying to look up. I was hoping you'd say yes so I can look up this guy's injury.
Oh,
but
well, I
guess not.
So I actually find it interesting that all the good teams in the NFC are manned by old quarterbacks or older quarterbacks, and all the good teams in the AFC were manned by young quarterbacks. It kind of just shows how miss the NFC is with getting young quarterback talent and how good the AFC is, which is gonna suck in the coming few years when all the old guys start to retire. So
I found the injury. He suffered a ankle fracture in week 5.
Yeah, I mean, first came back for an injury. Like, I don't know, like who directly he takes out. I'm assuming it's probably not Sue, but if it is, like if he goes in for Sue, that's fine with me because Sue's been playing like an animal this year.
Well, I don't think he's going for Sue. I mean, if the Bucs are stupid enough to substitute him with one of their better players, then that's laughable. Then they deserve to lose. But
well, don't they both play the nose tackle?
Well, you gotta. I guess it depends on the scheme, right? So if they have a 5-2 front, then they're both gonna be in there. If it's a pass rushing situation, Vita Vea probably doesn't make that much of an impact because he's, like I said, he's a big guy, so he's probably only in there as the nose tackle. So if they don't find a way to get both of them in there and run plays or run situations, then go Packers all the way.
I actually got to say one more thing. I think even though this is the best run defense in the league, I don't know, AJ, if you've noticed this over the last few weeks, but have you been watching Aaron Jones and how every time he gets touched, he breaks it for like 5 more yards. Like every single time he gets touched, he always breaks more yardage out of it. He's been an unsung hero right now. He's cranking out the yards on the ground. What do you think?
He's working for the contract at this rate. He has been an absolute monster, especially that one play he had last week where he landed on top of a guy and then rushed forward for like another 5 yards. I thought that was incredible, but I was also confused at the time because I was like, yeah. So I mean,
I was gonna say if we don't sign him again, that's just we're the dumbest franchise in the world. But
I mean, yeah, we did pick Jordan Love in the draft this year, so
I'm fuming if Aaron Jones doesn't come back. Like,
I also want to see another game where we have this running back dominant core because against the Rams, Aaron Jones was our main back, and he did, as you said, where he just kept breaking tackles and getting extra yardage. We had Jamal Williams, who literally did all of the power running. He did the runs, and he got those yards when we needed him the most. And then before A.J. Dillon went down, he's just a monster. He was just a monster last week too.
yeah, so Aaron Jones last week. This is against the Rams. Like, keep in mind, I know Aaron Donald was hurt, but like, still a great defense. 7.1 yards average for Aaron Jones on 14 carries. Jamal Williams had 5.4 on 12 carries. A.J. Dillon only had 6 carries, but he was averaging 4.5. So like, all three of them were just beasts. 2 of them are questionable right now, Dillon and Williams, but I don't think they're missing a championship game. So.
All right. Well, with that being said, I think it's time to move on because Richie seems like he's in pain after talking about the Packers so much.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Richie.
Just always look like that, bro.
All right. So, what did we say was next? Because I'm drawing a blank now.
Do you want to do the best team future? That one?
Oh, yeah. So, we are just, I don't know if we're adding it in every week, but we might just add in this week. I don't know. We talked about it briefly before. So, we are going to talk about a team that each of us have a team that we have in mind that we think is going to be set up for a future couple years of having good runs in the NFL. So, who would like to start off?
Got it.
What?
Richie?
Oh, all I heard was got it.
Oh, I said
that's,
Richie.
that's what I heard too.
Oh, no, sorry.
Got it.
I still have to like think of mine.
All right, so I was between 2. And you know what? I'm gonna pick the one that's probably not as solid of a choice. I'm kind of banking on a lot to happen here. I'm gonna say the Jacksonville Jaguars will be set up for the next 5 years. It's really hard to say for the NFC, outside of maybe like Green Bay, to be set up for the next few years because none of the teams really show that much promise. But I'm gonna take a chance on Jacksonville here. They just got Urban Meyer, college coach. Again, big jump from the college game to the NFL game, so it'll be an interesting season for them if he can't change his game. And then they're probably going to get Trevor Lawrence with the first overall pick in the 2021 draft. And I'm saying they're gonna click. I'm saying it's gonna be a very solid marriage between the two, and Jacksonville, who the record shows they were terrible, and they were terrible. But I would say they kind of played games close, especially I highlight one against the Packers where they actually gave the Packers a run for their money and almost snuck away with a win there. So I would say if Jacksonville can just play with that type of heart and that passion, they get Trevor Lawrence, a few more draft picks. They're going to have a lot of cap space so they can sign free agents. If they can do it smart and not so they set up their defense, I think it was 4 years ago at this point, with all high cap numbers, good for maybe a season or two, and then they had to trade them all, and it kind of didn't work. But if they can set it up in a cap friendly way where they don't sign all the biggest free agents, and they take their time and sign maybe 1 or 2 per year and draft well, I think the Jaguars can be a good team, especially with their division. No one's sure with the Colts. Texans are a complete mess, and they're probably going to be a complete mess until something crazy changes there. And the Titans, their defense is kind of lackluster, so hopefully Jacksonville will be able to put up points there. That might be their only rival in the next few years, but yeah, I'm gonna say the Jaguars. And I mentioned the Chargers before because they were my other team, but I mean that one's like kind of obvious. If they just get any type of competent coach, I think Chargers will be pretty solid as well.
So I guess I'll go next. Mine is the Chargers. I'm like the biggest Justin Herbert fan. Love Keenan Allen. Love what they got going. They're getting Derwin James back. Getting Joey Bosa. They've got a disgusting roster on offense and defense. They could be a top 5 offense, top 5 defense at the same time. I think the biggest problem for them isn't even them. It's just the fact that they're with the Chiefs. I think that the head coach, I don't know anything about this head coach they got, so I can't even really speak about that. But like hoping he's like just any type of competent would be great because Anthony Lynn was a fucking idiot. I think anyone could see that. So with this new coach, I think that offense is gonna have a nice turnaround where they don't choke games and just run the ball until the other team catches a comeback. Because like against the Saints, against Tampa, and against the Chiefs, they played amazing and were borderline going to win the game in all 3 of them easily. But Anthony Lynn just decided to run the ball 20 times and just lose it anyways. So I think if they can just shore up those little bit of losses that they had, there was always 3 to 7 point losses. I think that they could be easily a top 3 team in the AFC.
I'm going to stick on the AFC side of things, and I'm going to say that the Denver Broncos are set up to make a decent run in the future. Their offense, not this year, but on paper, it looked like it was going to be set up for absolute beauty. Drew Lock coming into his second year, making a statement. Well, what we thought again. Melvin Gordon being picked up and dominating their run for them. Philip Lindsay being his backup or kind of took over again. Then they got the solid wide receiving core of Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler was picked up in the draft. Jerry Jeudy, the number 1 wide receiver, picked up in the draft. No, that's a lie. But yeah, on paper they looked like they were going to be a really solid team. Tim Patrick even played very well. Noah Fant again. I say the biggest keys that they need to in order to make the actual run is to stiffen up their defense. Their defense has let up a lot of points, and in order to make that run, I mean, defenses, as we all know, they've been the ones to win championships. So, and Von Miller getting injured at the beginning of the season was huge for them, another loss. So, if they're able to pick up some solid people in the draft for defense, I think they can definitely stick out next year and get second place because Kansas City is good.
That'll be interesting. Drew Lock did come out and said something like, I forget the number, but like half of his passes that he throws, he's always like, oh shit, as it's leaving his hand. So, if he can take a step here in year 3, which is when most quarterbacks are supposed to take a step, I think their team could be very solid. But he was so hit and miss last year. But it'll be a second year under Shermer's offense. So, I don't disagree with you, but I think it'll be pretty tough for them. But they do get something back. They get Von Miller back. So, 2 huge pieces, and their offensive line, specifically Garrett Bowles, played really well this year. So, nice piece.
All right. Well, now that those are out of the way, let's move on to the predictions. Yeah.
Woo. Week 20.
All right. We got a ton of games this week. First up, starting with the Battle of the Bays. Tampa Bay versus Green Bay. And starting with Richie, because Jacob didn't send me his predictions.
Jacobs has Tampa winning 34-30.
Oh, hold up.
Just right
Tampa Bay, 34-30.
And you know what? Just to be different, just so I don't, give Jacob the only bold prediction, I will also take Tampa here. And I'm going to say it's a blowout, just to be different from Jacob. I'm going to say it's a repeat of week 4 or 5, whatever it was. And I'm
6.
Week 6. And I'm going to say the Buccaneers win 35-17.
Dan?
Although I do think Packers will win, though. I'm just playing the game.
Wow. So I've never felt this good about a Packers team. Um, I just can't, I don't see us losing, and I don't see. It almost seems a little easy in a way. I know it's like this is bad to be like this confident, but I really think that we're just gonna beat them by 10 or more. So I'll say 38-28.
Before I give my prediction, I would just like to say that Richie has already won the predictions. He's still just trying to be a major mean person and pick against me and Dan because he hates our friendship. But nonetheless, I am not picking against the Packers. But I am thinking it's going to be closer. I mean, I am confident in our team, our offense in particular. But I'm going with Green Bay. We'll go. I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm going to go 35-27. All right. And then we got the AFC Championship in the Buffalo Bills taking on the Kansas City Patrick Mahomes. And Dan, this is for you.
So as I said before, not going to be much running, so I think this clock's going to be stopped a lot. I think that provides a lot of scoring here. Both teams get a pass a lot. This is a shootout in my opinion. I'm going to say 42-38. Bills lose.
I thought he was going to do it. Well, I'm not going to do it either. I'm going to say KC wins as well. I'm going to say it's going to be a close game just because I don't know. So KC wins 24-20. What was Jacob's score, Richie?
You had Bills 27-20. And I have not been impressed by either playoff team so far. I know the Chiefs have only played one game, but I was not impressed. So because of that, just to be different again, I'm going to take the Bills here, but I'm going to take the Bills 20-17.
Wow, you guys both think it's going to be low scoring.
Although
Yeah.
again, if Mahomes plays, I do think Chiefs will very much clean up, but just to be different.
I will say this as a bold prediction, since we don't really have much of a bold prediction in our predictions. I think whoever wins the NFC is going to win the Super Bowl.
It's weird with the Chiefs there. You can never they're always the favorite, but yeah, I agree. Like they have just a lot more experience. I know the Chiefs won last year, obviously, but I agree.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that one.
You don't?
No. I mean, if Bills make the Super Bowl, I would say NFC has a better chance. But if Chiefs make, no, especially if Mahomes is back and he's, even like half a brain. That's amazing.
Well, that's the thing though, because the reason I say this, if the Chiefs make it, I'm not confident in their defense. I'm more confident in the Packers defense than the Chiefs defense. And Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense have been on a dominant flow for a long time, so I think they'll easily keep pace with the Chiefs. With that being said, Tampa Bay and KC already played each other this year, and that was a close game as well. I think if they see each other again, and Tom Brady is going to be home if he does make the Super Bowl, which is absolute garbage, and that means the NFL is rigged and Tampa Bay is going to win. That's just logical, guys. Come on. But yeah, I think Tampa Bay and their offense is going to power through if they manage to play KC in the Super Bowl.
All right.
I don't know so much about Tampa Bay. I'd probably favor Chiefs there, but I think Packers. I think we can outscore anybody right now.
All right. Well, I mean, before we move on and figure out our last thing, we can do Super Bowl predictions. There's 4 teams left. If you guys want.
I mean,
yeah, so
of course.
Richie, go.
I have to officially announce that my original prediction cannot happen anymore, with the Titans and the Rams both getting knocked out. And I know Dan mentioned something about this the last week about our credibility, and I'm throwing it out the window because I truly believe it will be a rematch of Super Bowl 1 and 2 as the Packers will take on the Chiefs.
I gotta agree. I've wanted to say the Packers Chiefs since I think it was week 15 or 14, but I couldn't get off my Saints high horse. I had to stick with that pick. But yeah, Packers Chiefs. Man. I think Packers win it.
Who would you say is winning, Rich?
It's so hard because like Packers are playing unbelievably right now, and the Chiefs are not. But like Mahomes, it's Mahomes. No, okay, you know what? I'm gonna say Packers, on the chance that like Mahomes' toe is broken and like he's like
Wow.
half concussed. But honestly, I wouldn't have an answer for you if he was fully healthy. I would say like to coin toss.
I think this year has completely shattered the defenses win championships unless Tom Brady gets carried by Devin White again.
Well, yeah, I'm in agreement with you guys. I've been saying this for the past couple weeks now. I will say. Well, I mean, besides last week because I said Cleveland over KC, but I'm going back to it, and I'm picking KC versus Green Bay, and I'm taking Green Bay to win the Super Bowl. But yeah, all right. Now is the time to figure out if we're doing one or two for our random rants, because we are on a time constraint, ladies and gentlemen.
So we got 23 minutes till 2:30. Let's do a round. Let's do a round, and then we'll decide from there.
All right. So, Richie, give us the stipulations here.
All right. So you have a choice of 1 through 5. Now, not all of them. Wait, hold on.
Are living people.
No. All right. So I think one or two of them are gonna be like not really based off players or coaches or teams, but still fun nonetheless.
All right. Works for me. Danny, would you like to go first or me?
You go first.
All right. Well, we are going to pick number 2.
Was last week Drew Brees' last game? And if it was, who should replace him?
Personally, I think it was his final game. It's sad to see Drew Brees go against Tom Brady and Tampa Bay because no one would have expected. See, imagine saying that a couple years ago, that Tom Brady's last game would be a loss in the divisional round against the Buccaneers with Tom Brady. Like, no one would believe you there. But I do think that, sadly, it was Drew Brees' last game. I mean, you could even see at the end he did like a little turnaround, looking at the stadium and the fans before he walked off the field. That could bring a tear to a grown man's eye right there, seeing Drew Brees walk off the field. But with that being said, I think Jameis Winston is going to take over as the QB. I think Taysom Hill is still going to be there for the trick plays, but I think Jameis Winston is just a better quarterback than Taysom Hill. And that's no offense to him because Hill obviously played well in the couple games that he started. But personally, I like Jameis Winston, and now he's going to hold up the W's all the time as a Saints quarterback. So, yeah, Jameis Winston taking over for the retired Drew Brees.
What were the numbers?
1 through 5, you can no longer pick 2.
4.
This one's probably better for AJ. What are your thoughts on Super Wildcard Weekend, and should it be brought back to 6 teams instead of 7, since both 7-seeded teams got eliminated first round?
I don't care about the name. First of all, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah,
But
get out of here.
I think it's fine. I don't mind it. Especially this year with COVID, like that was cool. But I actually don't mind it going forward. Um, I like that one team gets the bye, and it feels like the one team earns something rather than like two teams kind of sharing that. Just the home field is the only thing that separates them really. I like that the number one team actually gets like something. Um, yeah, I don't mind 7. What I don't like is I don't like that that you have to go from every division. I think it should just be the top 7 straight up. Like divisions are just stupid to me, anyways. Like because there's the Chiefs division that's just like insane or going to be potentially insane, or like the Rams division is insane, and then there's like the East. I'm sorry, I have to keep ripping on them. Or Indy's division for like so many years has just been fucking garbage. And Texans always make it at 9-7 or 10-6, which is like that's all right, but like I think it should just go straight up record. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think it should be called Super Wild Card Weekend anymore. I think that's a terrible name, and it should be Wild Card Weekend from here on out, unless you add in 8 playoff teams, and then the next season 9 playoff teams, and then the next season 10. Because Super Wild Card Weekend is awful. Sorry, I just needed to let that out.
Very good. Okay.
Dan, do you have it for Richie now?
Yeah, so pick a number 1 through 4.
3.
Almost what I wanted. All right. It's what are your thoughts on the Steelers signing Dwayne Haskins?
Honestly, I don't think it means much. He was supposed to like go beast mode this year because he quote unquote put in work in the off season. Not like any other quarterback does that. He has maturity issues, and maybe a few years down the line it'll be good, but as far as right now, he's not the face of a franchise. And whether or not it was Big Ben's last game doesn't mean much to me because I think they're going to look to the draft or even have Mason Rudolph take the reins for a season because, I don't know, Haskins is just overrated to me. And until the maturity issues go away, I don't think he's gonna amount to anything.
Yeah, I think he's complete dog shit. Always have. But I think this almost signals to me that it's not Big Ben's last year. I feel like they're gonna, I think he's gonna mentor him for a year. I think that's what this is because there's no way they can just start Dwayne next year and think it's gonna be good. Like, it's awful. I don't know, AJ. What do you think?
Well, they went from a guy who had a porn addiction to a guy who had a strip club addiction. So well, that's a wild ride, I think. Big Ben didn't play well this year. Their defense did well at the beginning of the year. Big Ben might get one more year and then he's done. I do think he's going to mentor somebody, whether they pick him up in the draft or they do what Jacksonville did and had one guy start and then after a couple games they had another guy start and then look at that other guy that started originally and be like, hey, you're not starting anymore because we have the chance for the number 1 pick in the draft. Rest in peace, Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
But yeah, Big Ben, I think he has one more year, and then he'll be done.
It'll be humbling for Haskins, but having Big Ben try to be the mentor of maturity to Haskins, it's pretty funny. That's a pretty funny storyline. Because Big Ben's been the quarterback that throws everyone else under the bus when he's having problems, and that's why Bell hates him. That's why Brown hates him.
Well, I mean, you can't. I mean, to defend Big Ben, when you have a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster dancing to Corvette on TikTok, then you can't really be that mad at Big Ben for being mad at him.
100%. And when they have a combined 31 drops as a team from wide receivers, that's tough too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to do another set of questions?
Yeah, definitely. We have time.
All right.
Oh, right. So what's gone 2 and what?
2 and 4.
Okay. So we're going to go with the place that the Packers are going to get in the Super Bowl, which is number 1.
Oh, okay. So you're going to tell me your thoughts on Lazard and MVS and who's better.
I like this question. Okay, so let's put this. Let's go back to the beginning of ancient times. So there was this one guy, MVS. He came up from the underground. He was rocking the scenes with Devonte Adams and Geronimo Allison back then. MVS seemed like a lovely guy. He seemed like a guy we could count on. And then, did he get injured? I don't remember, but we're going to assume he did in this fairy tale land. He got injured one time, and then he was gone for a while. He vanished. We didn't know what happened to him. So then he came back, and all the Packer fans in the land thought he was going to be a superior king and catch everything that Aaron Rodgers drops in his little palms. But here he is, going deep with his super speed like the Flash, and he drops the ball that was placed right in his chest. I don't know how to feel about that. Then there's the guy in Kansas City living it up his dream with his dream quarterback, dropping it wherever he wants it. He points over there, the ball is over there. He points over here, the ball is going to be over there, and he'll catch it no matter what because Tyreek Hill is just that fast and Patrick Mahomes is just that beautiful. But now, we move on into the lovely land of Allen Lazard. Last year, he made his big touchdown catch against Detroit. And it was beautiful. I saw a sight right away as he was going to be our number 2. And he continued to shine like the beautiful man that he is. Then offseason came, and I'm like, oh, absolutely. Devontae Adams, number 1. Allen Lazard, number 2. Funches, number 3. Then COVID hit. And now Funches is nowhere to be found. Allen Lazard is still here, being the beautiful man that he is. And I think he is a beautiful number 2, and no one is going to take that away from him because he is our number 2. I remember watching a bunch of podcasts saying that MVS is going to be better than Allen Lazard because Allen Lazard is not proven yet. But I saw the glimmer in his eye after that touchdown catch, and I was like, this man is going to be a shining star. And I was right because he has been beautiful ever since. So with that being said, Allen Lazard is better than MVS.
Yeah, I think first of all, they're completely different. MVS is just a speedster down the field. He, as we know, is god-awful anywhere near the line of scrimmage because he drops everything. I just think it comes down to consistency, and Lazard's just that guy, dude. He does everything in the trenches. I've listened to all of the Aaron Rodgers interviews with Pat McAfee, and he always talks him up about how much dirty work he does. And the touchdown he got last week in that 58-yard bomb was actually because he was running straight at the safety, trying to make it look like he was trying to pick him off for the running back. And then he just broke free. And then if it was MVS, they'd be like, okay, he's running a deep route. But since it's Lazard, who normally blocks on those, they're like, oh shit, like let me think he's gonna he's signaling a run's gonna happen. And that's why he was just wide open down the field. Nobody was even near him. So I think he does a lot more for the team, whereas MVS just runs straight lines, which is like, you need that person. Obviously, you need that person on a team. But I think just the consistency, the hands, the knowledge, and the blocking, I think Allen's better.
Well put from 2 Packers fans. AJ, I liked your monologue, I guess I'll put it as.
Thank you. I put some hard work into that.
It seems like it was almost rehearsed.
I actually snuck into your room and I saw the list of people you were putting on, and I just had to be prepared.
Gotcha. All right.
See, and I like how you even knew that the Packers were number 1, so you put a Packers as number 1. Look at that, man. It's beautiful.
All right. Dan, between 3 and 5.
3.
What are your thoughts on playoff Lamar Jackson?
I think that just is code for when he plays a good team and has to play from behind. Because I think when he has to play from behind, that offense doesn't work. It just does not work anymore. You can't just run the ball over a defense that's just winning and playing like really passively. Yeah, it just comes down to that. He literally cannot lead comebacks. Like the Chiefs earlier this season. Remember when the Chiefs just smacked on the Ravens and he just couldn't even do anything? Like, oh, it's just, early in the season, whatever. But that was playoffs last year when Derrick Henry ran for 200 on them. Like, he didn't know what to do. I think he's, like, fine. Like, he's not a bad quarterback by any means. But I just think if you put pretty much any quarterback that's, like, good, like anyone that's of his talent, like Josh Allen's better, first of all. But if you put Josh Allen on the Ravens, that'd be disgusting. Their roster's insane. You know what I mean? So I think he's just in a really good situation with a great coach, but he himself cannot lead comebacks.
Yeah, just a quick point out. In his 3-year career, he has 4 game-winning drives. So that seems like not a lot.
Yeah.
So that backs up
Pretty
what
much
you're
the only way they win is like they win by 30 because their run game just smashes the team. Like,
I think Lamar Jackson thought that there was only one game in the playoffs, and then he was done. So he played his one game, got the W, and then said, "All right, see you guys later." And I will say this: I don't know how I feel about their like wideouts because I mean Marquise Brown is good, Mike Andrews is good, but I don't know anyone else. I mean, Des Bryant is rising up again, like the star he is. But I don't know. I don't know if like maybe I don't know how to word this. I guess you're right. If you put anyone that can actually pass the ball on that team, it'll be better. But
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they'll just always be a run team first.
Well, that's how they're built. I agree. Actually, I don't think they have the best weapons. I mean, Andrews and Brown are actually good, but beyond that, I know it's a little shaky. But I just mean like their O-line and their defense. Like if you're put in that situation, it's pretty nice.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, they need a one receiver, because in my opinion, I know you guys Brown is a good player, but he kind of almost feels like an MVS type or like a Gallup type,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
burner.
exactly.
But you can't have that as your number one. So they need they need Des Bryant from 5 years ago to be their number one.
If they just draft a sick receiver, they should be pretty set.
That's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Said the Packer fan.
Well, there's a bunch in this draft, so I mean, like obviously they don't always turn out great, but there's a bunch of opportunity in this draft. Like it could actually one of the great ones. I think I saw a list of like the top 11, and they had what's his name? Devontae Smith, is that his name? The guy who went nuts and he won the Heisman. They had him as the 9th best. So if that's the case, I don't think 9 receivers are going to get drafted before Baltimore's pick. So there, grab him.
I think that list is probably wrong at this point because people.
Oh
love
well, no,
Smith.
it was after he won the Heisman and popped off. They're just like his breakout age was too late. They're saying that's their argument, and I was like, oh, okay, Josh Allen just broke out now. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Burrow had one good year of college, and now he's a first overall pick. No, that list is
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah. All right, Richie, 1, 2, or 4. Yeah.
Let's pick 4.
Okay. This was the only one that's not a player. You get to pick a player. It's who is your number 1 fantasy pick for 2021?
I like this question. He's gonna hold you to this, by the way, if you don't.
All right. Unfortunately, this man burned me this year, but it's because of unfortunate circumstances. I think it's, again, CMC. Just because he is an all-around player, catches as many catches as wide receivers do, as well as his run game. He seems to always get at least a touchdown in every game he plays, which is having like a floor of 6 points from a touchdown is amazing. And if you just compare him to the other players, we're not sure about Saquon. It's kind of hard to come back and be yourself after like 1 year, or not even a year of rehab from an ACL tear. Dalvin Cook is definitely up there, but I think his ceiling is lower due to lack of catching. Same goes with Derrick Henry. Kamara will not be the same unless Jameis Winston turns into Drew Brees, which is very unlikely. Who else?
Devontae Adams.
I mean, I guess if you want to take a wide receiver that high, but after this year, there's just shows that there's so many wide receivers that are good, and there's very little running backs that can average like 20 points per game. So
I found that out.
yeah.
Do you guys realize how many running backs busted? We went so nuts on this running back over the top thing. Saquon busted, Zeke busted, CMC busted, what's his face? Kenny Drake busted, Joe Mixon busted. Clyde busted. Josh Jacobs was like Austin busted. They all suck. All of them. Like, it's actually insane.
You know who didn't bust? Aaron Jones.
I know. The one guy was like, I do not want. Like, that was the guy that...
Oh, just call me the fantasy king, baby. But yeah, I will say this, I probably agree on that circumstance because the games that Christian McCaffrey did play, he went off.
I think the thing that we should be looking at is just the fact that Teddy Bridgewater was still determined to throw to his running back, even with Mike Davis in there. That didn't stop. I was kind of worried that Teddy would come in and not do the same thing that like Kyle Allen was doing and all the shitty quarterbacks they were rotating through. But just seeing that, like, and when I watch CMC play, you're right. It's a floor of a touchdown. Like 2 touchdowns is like him and Derrick Henry are easily the most likely to score 2 or more touchdowns in a game. And I just think his floor of like, I guess 4 catches or 5 catches, but like ceiling of like 9 or 10, like it's just better than anyone right now. So.
All right. Before we end off, I have one quick question to ask you guys. How would you feel if you opted out this year and your team won the Super Bowl?
Well, so do we know if they get the ring or not?
I don't know. That's a really curious question. I was just curious. It just popped into my head now.
They shouldn't. Devin Funchess should be sitting on his couch right now, like, oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Like,
well, I mean, yeah, considering Devin Funchess, his contract technically doesn't go off this year; it goes off next year. So, I don't think he would get the ring.
All right. Yes, I mean that would suck, but I think ultimately they'd be happy with the fact that their family is safe. They're safe, because they probably only opted out because there was like a big chance that if they got the virus they would die or someone around them would get very seriously ill. So
what if they got COVID anyways?
Then there's
people who opted out. Like, what if they got COVID? That sucks.
Yeah.
Then it'd be like that comedian at the White House walls or whatever saying, let me in, it's like, I already got it, let me in, let me back.
I had a question too before he ended. I swear, if someone answers this one wrong, who won the matchup, Devontae or Jalen?
Devontae.
Is that even a question?
Apparently, it's a real question. People are like really somehow on Jalen's side. They're like, oh, he only got 66 yards, and actually on routes that Jalen was on him, he only got like 12 or whatever the fuck the stats are. And I'm like, bro, if you're on somebody for like 10 routes, you can't just compare that to what a normal game statistics can be. You can't just say he should have 100 yards to beat him. You know what I mean? If you're on somebody for 12 routes, he gets a touchdown and then makes you look like a fucking sped on the other 2 catches. Like, you lost. You know what I mean? Like, that's such a joke. I just had to rant because it was so blatantly obvious every time. And people were like, oh, you had to motion away from Jalen to get open. Like, it's just smart coaching. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
And like, you can't make that argument and then not understand why Jalen wasn't on Devontae for every single snap. Like, they were doubling him because that's the smarter thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it works both ways.
Well, Dan's rant is almost as strong as my rant about it being called Super Wildcard Weekend.
Yeah.
And with that being said, we are going to end the podcast here. We hope you all enjoyed. Please like the video. Make sure to comment. Make sure to subscribe. And let us know if you enjoyed it or not, because we will read the comments if you leave them. If you didn't enjoy it, tell us why. If you did enjoy it, tell us why. And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
All right, real quick, we want to thank our beautiful editor Andrew.
Oh yeah, I always forget to thank him.
You can tell, man. I don't think there's a thumbnail on the most recent video. It's because he didn't get us one. So
yeah. So we didn't thank him this week. That's why.
Oh, true. Oh.
Yeah.
That's my alarm.
Look at that. And that's the alarm telling us it's time to go. Yeah. Have a good one, y'all.